XDC network will have an impact on every major continent on Earth, folks. Now look at this. This is tokenizer. We've pretty much got every major continent on Earth here outside of Antarctica. XDC has established at least 2 points of development in each continent. Folks, this is huge because this means that XDC network is not letting alone any of the world's regions, and this means that it will have a much better connecting point even if XDC goes on to provide use cases or establish its presence in 3 or 4 of the states in each continent. That will be a connecting point because XDC is working on global trade finance. If it has a hub in South America, in North America, in Europe, in Asia, it means that it will have that hub, a connecting hub in each one of them, which will further help it seamlessly integrate in the global trade finance economy, folks. Each are either government entities or F500s. Now, this is even more relevant. If they are government entities, then it gives it that legal backing as well for it to do whatever it wants. Asia, SBI for trades across UAE and Japan, plus Singapore's IMDA integrating XDC. Now look at this, folks. If we talk about Japan, if we talk about Singapore, they are powerhouses in the world economy now, really developing states, and Singapore is really bullish when it comes to digital assets. And we've seen a Ripple as well integrate its presence or establish its presence in Japan. XDC Network is trying to do that as well. And as far as UAE is concerned, the Middle East is one of those regions, folks, that is the most pro crypto and pro digital asset in recent times, that has been really pro when it comes to innovation. When it comes to Europe, TradeGo establishing trade corridors across China and Europe with Enigio plus Lloyd Banks investing in Enigio for first ever UK ETDA trade. Europe, as you all know, folks, is really trying to integrate, and it's really trying to innovate when it comes to digital assets. And the UK with Project Rosalind, you've seen that it is trying to work on CBDCs. Quant Network is increasing its presence over there. And as far as Europe is concerned, the MiCA laws as well are huge. Let me show you this video over here, which is relevant to Europe, because Europe is trying its level best to integrate with world economy and make use of the new digital asset era, folks.
Itself. Now, let's connect the dots a little bit here. The IMF is very obviously setting global direction alongside some of the central banks, European Central Bank, et cetera, et cetera. Quant just announced, obviously, they're rolling out more and more interoperability initiatives. Hedera digitizing carbon and ESG markets. Ripple building institutional grade custody solutions. The CME listing XRP derivatives starting this month. Every Morgan Stanley client can now access Bitcoin and crypto ETFs, a move that would have literally been unthinkable only a
Various institutions, organizations, they will be compelled to use the new technology, folks. The outdated legacy systems do not provide those innovations that projects like XDC Network bring.
couple of short years ago. At the same time, ESMA in Europe finalized the MiCA framework, or markets and crypto assets, giving banks and investment firms the legal green light to custody and tokenize assets. This isn't random innovation. This is coordinated reconstruction of the entire global financial system. The death of paper money isn't about printing presses shutting down. It's about control moving to code. It's about money, assets, and value being rewritten as data, programmable, trackable, and instant. The IMF calls it digital public infrastructure. The Bank for International Settlements and Citigroup target full-scale tokenized settlement by 2026. And the companies making all of this a reality: Ripple, Hedera, Quant, Chainlink, XDC, and more. Pick a number, pick a name. There's multiple different players in here. This is going to be a multi-chain future. These entities aren't waiting for permission, but we're at the point now that it's very clear that they've been building compliantly, and we're starting to get breakthroughs from the regulatory standpoint. Just look at the data. The real-world asset market cap of RWA's on-chain, so that's real-world assets coming onto blockchain, jumped from about a couple $100 million a few years ago to over.
Folks, when it comes to real-world asset tokenization, XDC Network's name comes out in the top as well. The tokenization arena is something that XDC plans to disrupt altogether, and we're not just talking about your billions, we're talking about trillions of dollars, folks. Real estate and luxury goods, you name it. With Comtech Gold, it is tokenizing gold itself.
For 30 billion. The next stop is obviously, as we've mentioned multiple times on this channel, trillions. We even saw Larry Fink from BlackRock saying the same thing yesterday. All assets will be tokenized. This isn't speculation. This is the new foundation of finance being shaped in real time. So the takeaway here is to face reality. The head of the IMF, or the International Monetary Fund, is telling you to face reality. She's telling all the central bankers in the world to face reality. So it's time for the people of the world, the 90 to 95% of the world that isn't in crypto or distributed ledger or blockchain yet, to also face reality. The paper currency system isn't dying someday. It's dying right now. This isn't about price. This is about who controls issuance, who controls custody, who controls the settlement layer. And the rails are already here, or at least some of them, as is very apparent through either XRP, hbar ecosystems, Chainlink, XDC. We know central banking initiatives kind of all across the board with a lot of different entities out there in the wild. These aren't meme coins. They are infrastructure at this point. Some of these networks are quite literally already embedded. We mentioned that Global Blockchain Business Council, GBBC, risk mitigation framework just a couple of weeks ago that I found that has Ripple, Hedera, Cardano, Avalanche, the World Bank, Clearstream, Euroclear, DTCC, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, who clears quadrillions in derivatives on an annual basis. So while most of the world, the 90 to 95% of the world, is still distracted, the next financial system is already online, from Washington to Johannesburg. If this kind of breakdown helps you see the big picture, please like this content. Please subscribe to this channel. Please drop a comment so that you don't miss what.
Folks, now look at this. Let's get further. If we talk about North America, we've got Trade Tech partner with Securitize for tokenized US treasuries, plus XDC's recent addition into the digital chamber. Folks, Securitize is associated with BlackRock, and if you all know, BlackRock is really interested in tokenization in digital assets, and it has been vocal about it in recent times. South America, Brazil state-owned Serpro using XDC, plus Bitso using XDC for USA and Mexico remittances. Folks, in all these cases, one thing remains the same: that state-owned companies are using XDC, not your random companies here and there, folks. These are really legit organizations over here. If we talk about Middle East and Africa, XDC launched from Abu Dhabi Global Markets, RegLab, plus Zanzibar government using XDC for Sandbox. So all the continents of the world, folks, using XDC network, and this is real. It is in real time. The partnerships are real. And first, we always talked about hypothetical stuff as to what is happening. Even 2 years ago, things weren't as practical as they are now. if you talk about Australia, XDC is a member of Digital Economy Australia, plus AUDD launches stablecoin on XDC to boost trade efficiency. And I think New Zealand will join as well, because Oceania will also have an impact from XDC network. The global adoption we're seeing from big names across XDC is quite fitting. Tokenized global trade, folks, all the continents over here: Asia, Australia, Middle East and Africa, Europe, North America, South America, folks, you name it. This is huge. Let me repost this one as well. This is a really, really interesting post over here. Yeah, look at this. Using XDC mainnet but not listing the token on Coinbase assets. People are really, really interested in XDC's listing everywhere. XDC sitting at just 0.062 and still under the radar, ranked number 70, but building like a top 10 project, folks. That is for sure. XDC can run like XRP back in the day. Look at this. XDC is now live on FinchPay, built for real-world finance. XDC brings trade, payments, and enterprise use cases straight to Web3, folks. Awesome. And one more thing. Look at this. The ISO 20022, the financial revolution starts. If you do not know, November 22nd is a good milestone. I'm not saying that it is a flip of the switch moment, but it is really an interesting milestone towards the new global banking system, folks. The new universal language for cross-border payments. By November 2025, all major banks, Fed, SWIFT, ECB must adopt ISO 20022 for high-value payments. It isn't optional, it is a global mandate, folks. And what we're talking about crypto over here, because only ISO 20022 compliant blockchains will seamlessly integrate with the $2 quadrillion traditional finance system. So imagine what the value of utility projects be. I'm not only saying about the price, I'm talking about the value, what they will bring to the world of finance, folks. These aren't just utility coins anymore. They are the rails of the future financial system. Look at this: XRP, XLM, algo, hbar, QNT, IOTA, near compliance, WET, ZBCN, ETN, Casper. Now let us look at this. XDC, hybrid blockchain for trade finance, ISO 20022 messaging built in, used by Singapore's IMDA. And over here, look at this. Diego Lopez has summed up XDC Velo over here as well. Something massive is loading. Let's check this out. October 27th, this is latest.
But at some point, these things are gonna break through, and we're gonna see, historical lifetime wealth made, I believe, through some of these coins. But also a lot of it lost, as a lot of this is not necessarily backed by something, is not necessarily going to answer all the questions people are hoping.
If you've been watching the crypto market lately, you've probably noticed something strange. While everyone's eyes are glued to Bitcoin's having cycle or Ethereum's ETF rumors, two coins, XDC and QNT, have been quietly positioning themselves for something much bigger. And here's the wild part. This next move might not just be another pump. Could be the breakout that redefines the next phase of blockchain adoption. See, when markets get quiet, most people lose focus. They scroll through news headlines, chase hype coins, and miss the slow, silent accumulation happening behind the scenes. But smart money, the institutions, hedge funds, and global networks are not sleeping. They're building, connecting, and testing systems that will eventually run on the rails of XDCnetwork and QNT. And that's where the story starts getting really interesting. We're in that eerie calm before something big shifts. The phase where blockchain infrastructure stops being a speculative buzzword and starts becoming the foundation of global trade and payments. It's not about memes or hype anymore. It's about integration. Governments are digitizing trade documentation. Banks are testing tokenized settlements. Supply chains are moving to blockchain that allows banks, central banks, and corporations to talk to each other across different blockchain networks. It's what bridges private and public blockchains without forcing anyone to rebuild their entire infrastructure. You see, these aren't random projects. They're system-layer solutions. That's why you don't see hype on Twitter, because the real activity is happening in meeting rooms, pilot tests, and enterprise partnerships. Here's what people always forget about major crypto runs. They don't start with headlines, they start with positioning. Before every parabolic cycle, there's a consolidation phase, boring price action, minimal retail interest breaks out. It'll just Finance Distribution Initiative, TFDI, ITFA, and other regulatory-backed systems that are actively tokenizing real-world assets. Invoices, letters of credit, and trade documents. This isn't theory, it's already live. Traditional trade finance has been plagued by inefficiency for decades. Paper-heavy processes, cross-border verification, and settlement delays worth trillions in locked capital every year. XDC solves that with tokenized assets that can be verified, traded, and settled instantly. That's why banks are watching, because it makes money move faster. And as more institutions start moving real-world value on XDC, demand for the token itself skyrockets. The XDC token becomes the bridge asset for these digital trade documents, and that's where exponential utility kicks in. Now, on the other hand, QNT Quant Network.
So folks, what do you guys think about XDC network and what it stands for? What do you think about the impact XDC is having on every planet every continent on Earth? Maybe one day every planet on the universe, maybe Mars will be using XDC, who knows? So yeah. So, what do you guys think about XDC network? I would really like your opinions. Do hit the comment box below and let the community know. Anyways, guys, this was it for the video. If you liked it, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification icon if you're interested in utility coins and potential gems. And you can also support the channel by checking out Patreon by following the link in the description box below. Until next time, stay blessed and stay tuned. Thank you very much, everyone.